Welcome to Sports Chat with Nat. I'm Natalie W. Baker, and we have a special guest today. We have professional boxer Nick Sullivan. Yay! That's my
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate this.
Listen, I told you when I met you, you going to be special. I said, you're going to be special. I don't know what it is. I said, but this is not the last time I'm going to see you. Didn't I tell you that?
You sure did, and you stuck by it. And look at us now.
Look at us now. Now, you gonna tell? Are you brave enough to tell them where I met you at?
Yes, I sure am. Everything happens for a reason. Because I have failed my my driver's permit 3 times. I refused to open the book, and I refused to open it. I had failed it, so I had to go to a driving class, and that's where we met at, through the driving class.
Yes. And I told you, I said, I don't know why the Lord put you in this class with me, young man, but you are special. Now, I tried to send you to Mount Carmel Missionary. Did you ever get there to speak to those young people?
I didn't get a chance to get there and speak to them.
But you know what? That happened for a reason as well. And now you can go back and meet with them again with even more to tell them. And that's probably why it didn't happen then.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, speaking of things happening for a reason, I read this beautiful quote. I looked for something really cute about boxing, and I read this. The sport of boxing carries a certain mystique. In order for a fighter to be successful, they must have a unique combination of skill and determination. Now, I've been researching since we said we was going to do this. I think that describes you perfectly. But I want you to tell Sports Chat with Nat audience what makes you such a great boxer and your skill and determination, how that has molded you into the boxer you are.
Well, actually, life itself molded me into being determined, and then it just flowed into boxing as well. Because boxing, you have to be dedicated. You have to put a lot on the line. When you want to go out with friends and families, you're going to miss some birthdays. You're going to miss some holidays. You're going to miss a lot of, but the price is great. So you always got to have a good head on your shoulders. So to come back to your question, my determination in life to always get where I want to go came into boxing as well too. Because it's like, I picture myself taking care of my family. I picture myself on top of the world. I picture myself being this great athlete in your man. So that's determination, dedication, and motivation. And I have all that in one because of life itself, and then just carried on into boxing.
Now, you just said something that I had already written down about you, and I was going to ask you. You mentioned missing birthdays, and I was going to ask you, being the fact that you are a featherweight or lightweight?
Lightweight, yeah.
You're a lightweight. I did my research now.
Yeah.
You're a lightweight. So being a lightweight, that's 130 to 135, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How do you maintain that weight? I haven't been 135 since I was in junior high. So how do you maintain that weight? And along with that, how does that affect your family meal planning and things of that nature with the holidays coming?
Yeah, so it's definitely hard. It's definitely hard, but luckily I've been doing this for so long, so it's going to be hard regardless to get down in weight, because you got to cut back on meals. You can't eat like how you normally eat. Like, it's a lot to it, so it's definitely hard, especially with Thanksgiving coming up, birthdays, Christmas, all the times where you're supposed to be eating with family and things like that. You just got to cut back. But some people can't do it. Some people don't have the drive and the dedication to do that. So it's not meant for everybody. And with my
go ahead.
And then with my family, they're concerned. They're like, you gotta eat. I don't want you looking like this. I want you to like that. So they do their part as a family, and they love me, make sure I eat. But I have to tell them, like, I gotta cut back on eat, so I gotta eat by this time, I gotta eat by that time. So they do well with that as well. So they support me.
Now I know you got your supportive mom and dad, you got a twin sister, and you
Yes,
have a brother that you love dearly,
yes,
right? And they've
yes.
been supporting you. How old were you? You said you've been doing this a long time. When
Mhm.
did you start boxing and why did you start boxing?
I started boxing when I was 7, turning 8, and as a kid, I was always fighting. Like I had like just this anger for no reason. So I was always fighting. And my mom was just like, you need to turn that negative energy somewhere positive because that could lead to something dangerous. So
Yes.
as a kid, I was playing baseball, basketball, football. Even in those sports, I was just showing signs of aggression. So my mom was just like, it's something else that we need to put you in. So my
Okay.
mom has a hair salon, and one of her customers' sons came in her hair salon one day, and we got into it in the back of her salon, and I fought the boy and beat him up. And it just so happened how everything happens. The boxing coach for the Norfolk Boxing Club had walked in my mom's shop that same day that all this happened. And
Okay.
she was like, bring him past the gym, bring him that, let him see if he like it, and let him see if this is what he want to do, or let him get some of that anger out. I went past there the first day to just watch, and I started the next day and just been with it since.
Okay. Now, are you from Portsmouth or Norfolk? Because you're with Golden Boy Productions. That's out of Norfolk, correct?
No, Golden Boy Promotions is a big time promotion,
Okay.
which is Oscar De La Hoya, the guy that fought Floyd
Yeah.
Mayweather. Yeah, that's his promotions, and
Okay.
that's out of California and Vegas.
Okay. So now, with that being said, there's another boxer. He's deceased now. I read somewhere he was your mentor.
Yes, he was Pernell Whitaker.
Yes. Now,
Yeah,
he was in the Olympics. Have you ever had that desire? And how close did you get to being in the Olympics? Or was that ever one of your dreams?
yeah, that definitely was a dream of mine to go to the Olympics, but that dream was cut short once amateur boxing had made a decision to take off the headgear and
Mhm.
and to fight without headgear. And I figured with my decision that would be best for me to just go ahead and turn professionally where I fight without the headgear for money instead of fighting amateur without the headgear for basically nothing. So I had to weigh out my options with that. And I'm glad I kind of did turn pro because coronavirus hit and then the Olympics was pushed back a whole year.
Yes.
So
Now,
yeah.
you mentioned, okay, wait a minute. You just mentioned something and you said amateur with the headgear. Now,
Yeah.
what other differences are there between amateur and professional? And if there is a young man or that's watching or a dad that's watching and he has a son, what could you tell them about amateur boxing and how could they start and some of the differences other than headgear?
Starting amateur boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, amateur boxing is amateur boxing, just boxing in general, is a great way for young men to stay out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you 2 to 3 hours out the day where you can go train, release a lot of anger. And I just feel like that will help a lot with the shootings, the everything. You get to go release your anger, you get to hit the bag, you get to punch on somebody else, just release your anger. And by the time you leave there, you're tired. So you're going home and go to sleep. So it would alleviate a lot of violence.
Okay.
It helped young men with controlling their anger. It helped young men with being, what's the word? It helped young men with just being more
Maybe more
disciplined,
focus. Maybe
more
more
disciplined,
focus. Oh, more
and
discipline.
focused. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's
Discipline
not.
is so important. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So now I have we talked about your diet and your lifestyle with your family. Now, with Golden Boys, who have you met as far as professional other than Purnell?
Mm-hmm.
What other big professional fighters have you actually met and were you starstruck when you met them?
Um, to be honest, I'm gonna say this in the most humblest way, but
Okay.
I wasn't really starstruck because
Okay.
I always picture myself being in those predicaments. So
Okay.
I wasn't really starstruck. So I met Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
Um, I met Shakur Stevenson's, Pernell Whitaker.
Mm-hmm.
Um, trying to think who else have I met. Paul Williams.
Okay.
Sean Porter.
Okay.
Terrence Crawford.
Oh my.
Thinking that's all I could think of off rip right now.
But that's a lot. I think the only ones I ever met was Breland.
Mark Breland.
Mark Breland.
I know him.
I met him. And see, I walked right up to him and called his name. And he was like, how she know who I am? I'm like, I follow every sport.
Yeah.
And we talked, and he was there with Purnell that night when I saw him. So with that being said, and you said you already saw yourself in that position. You know who else saw themselves in a position before they got there?
Who?
Russell Wilson. He went to the Super Bowl the year before. He actually played in it because he wanted to visualize what it would be like. So you're already on the mindset of those that are great. But let me ask you this. I got a trivia question for you. Let me see if you know the answer to this trivia.
Okay.
Let me read what he did. He had, wait a minute, let me make sure. He won titles, world titles in 5 weight divisions and held linear championships in 3 weight divisions, as well as undisputed welterweight title. He won 36 out of 40, 25 by knockout. He only lost 3 times with 1 draw.
1 draw.
Only 1.
That Sugar Ray Leonard? Welterweight.
Yes!
Sugar Ray Leonard, yeah.
Yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard. Now his weight class, isn't he in the same weight class as you?
Welterweight? No.
Class? Or was
welterweight is like one more weight class. One more weight class up from me.
Okay. Now, this boxer fought from 68 to 01.
68 to 2001?
The initials are RD in your weight class. RD.
Roberto Duran.
Yeah. Okay, I got one more. No, I better not ask him because I know you know who that is. You and his production company, his promotion company, so I know you know who he is. Now, let me ask you this, Mr. Nick.
Okay.
You mentioned about boxing would help young men in school.
Yes.
With the violence and things. And that was one of my questions, being from Hampton Roads, and especially Portsmouth, with what I've been reading since it's sad. Is there anything on your back burner, in the back of your mind, in a way to maybe introduce boxing to some of these young men? Do you have any of those ideas? What are your tell Sports Chat with Nat fans what you plan to do to help these young men?
I plan to use boxing as a platform to open up businesses, gyms, and just help the kids. Because violence, we're losing a lot of these young men to violence, which is leaving a lot of mothers and families starstruck, and is only leading to more violence because now people are angry. So a way to do all that, a lot of these days, a lot of kids just want to fight. They want to fight. They big bad. Well, come on to the gym, release that energy, fight, and boom, handshake, hug it up, do whatever you got to do afterwards. Because at the end of the day, you live to fight another day. So that's the main thing right there. I'm just using boxing as a platform. I do love boxing, but I'm also using it as a platform to make a name for myself. So they see that I'm young and doing it. So why can't they do it? I'm just like everybody else.
Now, has the city of Portsmouth or any of the schools in the Tidewater area used you to come speak to any of the kids or anything of that nature?
Yes, I spoke at like 2. They were elementary schools, but due to coronavirus,
of course,
nobody really is doing that. So I haven't spoken or haven't got word to speak with anybody in a while because of this coronavirus.
Well, let's see how we can change that right now with Sports Chat with Nat.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the same opportunity I gave WNBA legend Ruthie Bolton.
Okay.
Nick, I'm going to give you an opportunity to say to Sports Chat with Nat fans, Facebook fans, your fans, fans that don't know you yet. This is your time to say what you want to say to anyone out there listening to Nick, Slick Nick Sullivan.
I just want to say that, as always, life is life. It's always going to be hard. It's never easy. That's why a lot of people weren't blessed with it, and it's been taken from a lot of people. So you still here, you're still standing, you still strong. So keep fighting, keep being great. And if you need help, please reach out, and I'll be more than glad to help you.
All right. So what I need you to do, do you already have you have a website and things of that nature that they can go to, or?
I don't really have a website up right now, but I do have all social medias: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I just don't have Snapchat, so I have everything but Snapchat.
Do me a favor, send that information to me in the email, and
okay.
I will post it in the comments in the bio of the video when I post it on YouTube.
Okay.
And you feel free to share this with any of your followers, because Nick, as you can see, I've stepped out on faith to do Sports Chat with Nat because I've loved sports forever. And I'm just trying to connect my love of sports with my love of people together. And I tell a joke or two every now and then, but I didn't have no jokes for this today because I am just so proud of you, young man. I knew when I met you, you were special, and I don't ever want to lose this connection because, like you said already several times, and I say it all the time, all things happen for a reason.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to continue to support you as you support me, as we support the children of Hampton Roads, the children all over, because as you said, it's trouble everywhere. Kids are struggling. Kids are needing guidance and other options. We don't have options, and we need options. So thank you so much for spending this time with us today. You covered everything that I wanted to ask you. You are just such a special young man, and I pray continued blessings for you. Be sure to tell your mom and dad hello, and your brother, give him a fist bump for me, because the love that you show your brother needs to be shown, because sometimes Black men don't want to show love like that.
Yeah.
And so I want you to be able to use, like you say, use your platform for everything that you can use it for. And I'm in your corner, and we are still connected. And thank you so much for being here with us. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, subscribe to Sports Chat with Nat. Check out Nick Sullivan. Nick, when is your next fight? Is it already scheduled? Let's ask that.
Yes, it's supposed to be November 7th in LA at the Staples Center.
Look at you!
And then if that one get canceled, then I'll be fighting December 3rd in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Hotel.
Now, Nick.
Yes.
Now you know. Hold up. Rewind. Did you say November 7th at the Staples Center?
Yeah, November 27th.
27th. See, that's why I had to repeat it. 27th. That's around Thanksgiving time, isn't it?
I know. That's exactly why I stated what I stated in the beginning, missing holidays and all that.
Whoa. Now, is that going to be televised, or what? How can we see that?
Yeah, so I'll have further information on that as the time get closer, but I know it will be televised because that is a big fight.
Yes, it is. So, Sports Chat with Nat, I said I was going to try to be dignified. Well, he's going to be in the Staples Center. Oh, you know what? Don't make me cry. Don't make me cry, young man. Oh my gosh. So you are 22 or 23 now?
23.
23. And you started when you were?
8.
8. Ladies and gentlemen, he started when he was 8. I started acting and performing when I was about that age. I ain't nowhere near 22, but anyway, But listen, tell your kids, tell your grandkids from 8 to 23. He's already getting ready to go to the Staples Center. It can be done, people. It can be done. All you got to do is follow your dreams, stay focused, stay determined, and it can work out because with God in your corner, all things are possible. We thank you, Nick, for being a part of Sports Chat with Nat.
And I thank you for having me on and appreciate you for reaching out and wanting me on your show. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, and feel free to share this with all of your friends because
trust me, I will.
And I'm trying to get my viewership up. They can subscribe to Sports Chat with Nat. I do football, I do all the sports, but this is a very, very special edition for me. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Nick.
Thank you for having me on. This really meant a lot.